Question 16. The owner of a tourist attraction records the amount of rainfall in millilitres and the number of visitors each day. The results for 10 days are shown in the scatter diagram. So you've got the scatter diagram shown. Circle the outlier on the scatter diagram. Well, the first thing you need to think about for a scatter diagram is there a correlation? Is there a pattern between all these figures? Yes. Well, the figures are starting high up and then they're coming down as we go right in the graph. So I could draw a line of best fit. When you draw this, you'll draw it with a ruler. I'm using a tablet, so it's a bit more tricky. And you're going to try and up with roughly the same amount of x's on each side of the line. So my line of best fit would look something like this. Everyone's line of best fit will look slightly different, and their answers will therefore be quite different from each other. The answers given in the mark scheme will have a range of acceptable answers. What we could tell straight away from this, though, is there is one cross on the scatter diagram that doesn't really stick that closely to your line of best fit, and it's this one. So I've just circled what we call the outlier, the one that doesn't fit with the rest. Part 2. The owner claims that he would expect around 320 visitors on a day with 2 millimeters of rainfall. Does the scatter diagram support his statement? So what we need to do is we need to look at the part of the graph that shows rainfall. We need to look at 2 millimeters. We need to draw a straight line up from 2 millimeters until we hit our line of best fit. Then we need to use that line of best fit to come across horizontally exactly. Where does it take us up to? Somewhere like 230, 240. Difficult to see on my graph because it's so small. So, does the scatter diagram support his statement? No, it does not. It indicates you should expect 230. As I said, there's a range of answers. Anything between 200 and 260 would be acceptable, but none of those are anywhere near 320. The last part. Explain why the scatter diagram should not be used to estimate the number of visitors on a day with 9 millimeters of rainfall. Well, if you look at the scatter diagram, 9 millimeters is a figure that we don't have anything close to on our scatter diagram. So there's no data available for something similar to the value of 9 millimeters. So what we simply say here is that 9 millimeters is outside the range of the data collection. Part B. The pie chart summarises information about the visitors to the tourist attraction on a different day. Explain why the pie chart cannot be used to work out how many adults visited on that day. Well, if you look at the pie chart, it hasn't got any angles on it. It doesn't give us any actual totals. You can tell, obviously, that more children attended than adults because it's clearly a larger part of the pie chart. But what we can't tell from this is any specific numbers because no total visitor number is given.